You're watching News 4 San Antonio.
Definitely not true, man. Do I look like a killer to you?
2 arrests made in a shooting death on the southwest side. We show you why this man claims he's innocent.
Plus, hear from the team that rescued a teen that was stuck inside this cave exactly 1 week ago today.
We start with breaking news. A longtime San Antonio car dealer and philanthropist Tom Benson has died. Benson established a string of dealerships here after he moved from New Orleans decades ago. The billionaire philanthropist lived back in New Orleans, owns the Pelicans and Saints professional sports teams. Over the years, he's donated to Central Catholic High School, starting an endowment fund there. The stadium at the University of the Incarnate Word is named in honor of him and his wife. Tom Benson died peacefully today after battling the flu. He was 90 years old.
Developing right now, rescue crews rushed to the scene of a walkway collapse where people may still be trapped. Several cars are trapped under the rubble. We'll have more on this accident coming up.
I have the suspect, Nicholas Cruz. Stand by right there, do not move. It's all residential. I'm out with a Nicholas Cruz, black jean pants, burgundy shirt with a black ball cap.
Newly released audio of the dispatch from February 14th, the day of the deadly school shooting in Parkland, Florida. And 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, public defender, says he is willing to plead guilty to premeditated murder in the first degree to avoid the death penalty, though the prosecutors say they are going for the death penalty. And for the first time, we're seeing the actions that took place outside during last month's school shooting. In it, you see the Broward School Resource Officer, Scott Peterson, responding to the initial call for shots fired. Peterson is the school resource officer, armed, but stayed outside that building for 4 minutes, while inside, Nicholas Cruz shot and killed 17 people. In a statement, the sheriff's office says Peterson chose to resign and immediately retire rather than face possible termination.
We have new information involving an online car sale gone wrong. 2 arrests have been made. Our Adam King joins us live from police headquarters right now with what we're learning. Adam?
Well, 2 men arrested today, 24-year-old Joseph Alvarado and 21-year-old Ray Sean Woodard. The arrest made this morning at 10 o'clock, all thanks in part to a Crime Stoppers tip.
So you're guilty? No, definitely not.
2 arrests made in the sale of a car arranged online gone wrong. 21-year-old Ray Sean Woodard and 24-year-old Joseph Alvarado charged with capital murder. 2 children describing the scene they saw from the other side of Sherry Street the day everything happened.
Like 3 gunshots, it was like 3 times, but I thought it was fireworks, really. But everybody was calling 911 and stuff, and a lot of cops came, dude. But yeah, an ambulance too.
According to an affidavit, this was a car sale arranged online gone wrong.
During the incident, the victim in this case was shot multiple times and passed away the next day.
Police used video from a nearby Valero showing Woodard and also got some help from their tip line.
Thanks to a Crime Stoppers tip from the public, we were able to develop the suspect, this 24-year-old Joseph Alvarado.
While Alvarado said he's innocent.
They don't have anything against me. It's definitely not true, man. Do I look like a killer to you? I have a legit alibi, all of that.
Police say the evidence tells a different story.
Detectives, through hard work and investigation, did develop enough probable cause to determine that there was enough to charge Mr. Alvarado with capital murder.
Now, I just got off the phone with Central Records, and we're waiting to hear back on what the bond situation will be for the 2 men arrested this morning. But Officer Rodriguez tells me the investigation in this case still very much alive. She actually expects there to be more arrests made in the shooting death of Tariq Ross. Back to you.
Thank you, Adam. An update to an Amber Alert issued last night by San Antonio police. 3-year-old twins Colby and Kinsley Hernandez were found safely today in Panama City, Florida by U.S. Marshals. Police say the 2 were taken by their mother, Leslie Hernandez, who was involved in a pending child custody case with Child Protective Services. Hernandez has been arrested and the children will return to San Antonio. They are now in CPS custody.
Right now, a 15-year-old girl from Devine is still recovering from multiple stab wounds at the University Hospital here, and that suspect, Chase Scow, was arrested after a manhunt last night, now being held on a $500,000 bond, facing charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
As a parent, to hear that young lady when she came out to tell her mom, I didn't want to die in there. I mean, that resonated with each and every one of us because she was in fear for her life.
That is San Antonio Fire Chief Charles Hood talking about the work his technical rescue team did to save a teenage girl stuck inside a passageway in a cave for hours. It was exactly 1 week ago today. And our Renee Santos talked with some of the firefighters on that team and joins us live now with a closer look at exactly what they had to do to safely get that girl out. Renee?
Randy, the work the technical rescue team did was absolutely amazing. They had to carefully chip away at rock that's thousands of years old. Not only that, but keep in mind the oxygen levels inside that cave.
It's not every day you get the chance to see firefighters rescue a teen from being stuck inside of a cave.
Crews are still trying to get a trapped teenager.
She's been down there for more than 8 hours.
The 18-year-old from Lee High School still stuck in Robber Baron Cave.
But neither is getting the chance to meet the team who actually did it.
Never. I personally have never.
It was a first for firefighter Steve Nunn.
This was kind of a little bit different because we were breaking rock inside of a cave.
He's been on the department's technical rescue team for about 10 years.
You're chipping away right around her.
He says rescuing the teen who was stuck inside Robber Baron Cave for hours wasn't easy.
We had air hammers basically in her face, everywhere around her for extended amounts of time, and she handled it really well. That chunk of rock was probably a couple feet deep, so it was just shearing off sometimes big pieces, sometimes, most of the time, just small pieces at a time.
He tells me crews had to supply oxygen inside.
The oxygen levels were a little bit low, so we ventilated another hole of the cave.
And communicated.
If you've got 2 wires, connect batteries.
Using cave phones.
Connect it to another set, and I can talk to this guy.
San Antonio Fire Chief Charles Hood says the day was emotional.
It's just amazing. So it's a feeling that unless you're a rescuer, it's really hard to describe the feeling.
It's a feeling, a relief none will never forget.
She was in very good spirits, so thank her for that, because she made our job easier.
And I've also learned that team actually had training at a cave back in January. Their captain tells me that being familiar with the environment of the cave really helped them out last week. Back to you.
At a fundraiser last night, President Trump admitted that he made up some facts about trade when he was talking to Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And now we have the audio of what he said last night. Here's a snippet of it.
I said, you're wrong, Justin. We have no trade. I said, well, in that case, I feel differently. I said, but I don't believe it. I sent one of our guys out. His guy, my guy, they went out. I said, check, because I can't believe it. Well, sir, you're actually right. We have no deficit, but that doesn't include energy and timber. I'm talking about Canada. You don't have a timber company. And when you do, we lose $17 billion a year. It's incredible.
NBC News has reached out to the White House for comment on the president's remarks last night, but has not yet heard back. If you want to hear the full clip, you can just go to our website. That's news4sa.com.
And coming up later in our newscast, will the FBI deputy director be fired before he retires? What's next? Stay tuned.
Melissa Vega at the live desk as we continue to follow the latest on the bridge collapse at Florida International University in Miami. Well, here's what we know right now. We have been following live pictures. Authorities say multiple people have been killed and 10 people were taken to the hospital. 2 are in critical condition. 8 others are stabilized. What's happening now is a search and rescue operation. Crews and even rescue dogs are doing all they can right now to find victims. There are more than 100 firefighters on scene right now. It's unclear how many people were impacted by this accident. As for that bridge, this was a pedestrian bridge being built across an 8-lane highway. It connected Florida International University to the city of Sweetwater and was expected to open to foot traffic next year. Now, investigators say it will be a while before a cause will be determined as to why this bridge collapsed. The focus right now, right behind me, is that search and rescue. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Melissa. The last of the Blockbuster video stores is going down, and you'll never guess where it is.
And who do you like more, the IRS or your in-laws? Results of a new study this tax season coming up.
The next time you go house hunting, the house may actually be watching you. Home sellers are now using spy cams to gather intel on prospective buyers during open houses. And realtors can use everything from old-fashioned security cameras to newer gadgets like those Nest thermostats that track their conversations and actions. Real estate experts say the rise of the recorders is a response by sellers who are desperate for feedback that once would have been provided by their broker.
And time has run out for one of the last remaining Blockbuster video stores in the U.S. The store in North Pole, Alaska, had a loyal following, but too few customers to keep the doors open. In addition to 4 other locations in Alaska, Blockbuster's website lists 3 others. 2 are in Oregon and 1 in Edinburgh, Texas.
With the tax filing deadline about a month away, a new survey by Wallet Hub asked Americans what they like more than the IRS. Only 3 in 10 said they like their in-laws better. So if you do the math, yes, that means 70% of Americans actually like the IRS better than their in-laws.
Are you planning a family vacation this year? We'll tell you which age group is planning more vacations this year, according to a new study.
And from sports bars to office back rooms, let the madness begin. Do you have your brackets? How will the tournament help you at work? Coming up.
And in weather, well, the cloud cover is back. Get ready for a foggy and somewhat wet Friday morning, but sunshine and very warm temperatures tomorrow afternoon. Your 4-zone forecast showing you the big warm-up that's on the way after the break.
Now, Chief Political Correspondent Scott Thuman has the latest from Washington on a controversial decision that could cost an FBI official his full benefits.
It's no secret President Trump's been at odds with former acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe since McCabe's wife ran for office and received donations from a Clinton ally. Trump even tweeting last December he's racing the clock to retire with full benefits. 90 days to go. That time almost up, and just as the FBI's Internal Disciplinary Office recommended his firing, according to multiple media reports for allegedly misleading investigators about sharing sensitive information with the media regarding an investigation into Hillary Clinton's foundation.
I'm concerned by press reports that President Trump may abruptly direct the firing of Andrew McCabe after a 20-year career in federal law enforcement.
The White House says Jeff Sessions will make that determination.
If he doesn't take steps to rein in the FBI corruption that's been placed on his plate, I think he's going to take a big hit in terms of his reputation.
Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch, has been suing for access to FBI and Justice Department records.
Donald Trump didn't investigate Andrew McCabe and come to the conclusion he misled investigators. The DOJ IG did. The Office of Professional Responsibility evidently did.
A firing he and some Republicans say would send a strong message.
People need to regain their confidence in the FBI and the Department of Justice, that it's not just a political playground.
Some say McCabe's firing would be seen as vindictive and retaliatory since he may lose benefits just hours before retiring. Others say if he lied, he can and should be fired like anyone else. In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
A new study shows some 88 million Americans plan to take a family vacation this year, with the surprising age group leading the way, millennials. According to the latest research from AAA Travel, 44% of millennials are planning a family getaway. That number is more than members of Generation X at 39%. 32% of baby boomers will be vacationing.
Well, speaking of vacation, spring break time right about now for a lot of people getting ready to plan for summer vacations. But if you're planning to travel across the border, you should travel with caution. Officials in Mexico say an increase in some violent crimes in some areas, though, should not stop tourists from visiting. They recommend signing up for the State Department's Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. Now, that will notify the embassy that you are in the country, and that will send important warnings, if there are any, to your phone.
Back at the live desk following some breaking news out of Joint Base San Antonio Lackland. An Air Force Reserve Super Galaxy cargo plane incurred an emergency landing. That is a live picture. This happened about 3 this afternoon due to a nose landing gear malfunction. The aircraft was returning to base from a local training mission. 11 people were on board, and we've just learned that no reported injuries at this time. Another developing story we've been following. A grand jury has just indicted 4 men on charges related to the September hazing death of a Louisiana State University freshman. Now, one of those men, 20-year-old Matthew Naquin of Bernie, he's facing a felony negligent homicide charge, which is punishable by up to 5 years in prison. The 3 other men were indicted on a misdemeanor charge of hazing. Witnesses say Naquin singled out 18-year-old Maxwell Grover during a hazing ritual and forced him to drink more than the other pledges. That's the latest from the live desk. Back to you.
All right, so today we topped out at 70 degrees. The normal high for this time of the year is now 74, and a big warm up is going to start tomorrow. We'll see high temperatures in the middle 80s tomorrow. In the western zone, closer to 90 degrees. So yes, a big change. A live look outside from our World Car weather cam. We did see some peaks of sunshine earlier today, but throughout the afternoon, we're seeing more Gulf moisture coming in. So that's bringing us thicker clouds. 67 degrees, south-southeast wind at 12 miles an hour. Relative humidity climbing right now at 66%. You can see the thicker cloud cover from San Antonio to the south and east. Radar picking up on a little bit of rain over the western eastern Edwards Plateau. That is the western Edwards Plateau. But I think a lot of this is just a drizzle that's reaching areas near the Big Bend region. We are seeing a dry line that's pushing eastward. There's also a weak front that's coming into West Texas. This dry line will come through San Antonio tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we're going to see some patchy fog, light rain and drizzle, but tomorrow afternoon it gradually clears out from west to east. So winds right now, again, out of the Gulf of Mexico, so the humidity is on the rise. Dew point temperatures about 10 to 20 degrees higher than this time yesterday. 55 right now in San Antonio, closer to 60 across the eastern zone. Check out future trackers. So late tonight, tomorrow morning, we'll see more fog and drizzle, and we could see some wet roads for your Friday morning commute. But tomorrow afternoon, closer to 2 o'clock here in the city, we're going to see the clouds moving away to the east and the south flow, and the sunshine will warm us up to about 86. We'll see increasing clouds Friday night into Saturday morning, perhaps more patchy fog and drizzle Saturday in the morning. A weak front will come through the area by Sunday. 7-day forecast for your Friday afternoon. After the fog and drizzle, becoming mostly sunny, high 86. St. Patty's Day on Saturday, a little patchy fog and drizzle in the morning. By the afternoon, mostly cloudy with a 20% chance of scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. I have now included a 30% chance of rain on Sunday, and then we're going to see the drier weather on Monday. Official start of spring will be on Tuesday. Temperatures by the middle of next week in the upper 70s. More information at news4sa.com.
All right, thanks, Jeanette. Well, March Madness is here. The NCAA men's basketball tournament tipped off today, which will end in San Antonio in a few weeks. But the hoops hysteria isn't limited to just sports bars and living rooms. You may know it can take over workplaces as well. But that could be a good thing. The staffing firm Office Team estimates nearly half of professionals are big fans of March Madness and brackets, as well as other sporting events.
People spend about 25 minutes per day during March Madness talking about either the sports scores or taking a look at the scores on their computer.
At work, people will be gathering in break rooms around TVs and wearing their school colors, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And experts say a lot of fun that can actually benefit employers. That's right, because following a favorite basketball team can lead to team building, so we're not wasting time.
Exactly.
We're team building.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to participate. In fact, Spurs are back at home tonight, and they can gain some ground if they pick up a win tonight.
Don Harris is live at the AT&T Center, where they need some team building. Don?
They absolutely do. You know, New Orleans Pelicans came in here just 2 weeks ago and stole one. The Spurs cannot afford to have that happen again tonight. New Orleans is one of those teams that's 2 games ahead of the Spurs in the loss column, so tonight is huge. A preview next. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to game night with the Spurs here at the AT&T Center. The playoffs don't really start for a month now, but really they start tonight. 7 teams fighting for 5 playoff spots, so every game matters. The New Orleans Pelicans, 2 games ahead of the Spurs in the loss column, and they came in here just over 2 weeks ago and beat the Spurs on their own home floor. New Orleans has won 11 out of their last 13. They have an MVP candidate in Anthony Davis. The Spurs, meanwhile, got back to their winning ways with a blowout over Orlando Tuesday night, and they said this morning they got to keep that up.
Yeah, we got to show our experience. We have to grow, mature, and hopefully we get a lead like that, we can sustain it, close out the game. So tonight it's going to be a good challenge for us. Every game is a big must-win game for us, so it's a big challenge for us. Those guys are playing really well right now, so it's going to be a lot of fun, but we got to make some plays. Guys got to step up.
They sure do. Spurs and Pelicans tonight here at the AT&T Center. New Orleans will be playing with a heavy heart. If you haven't heard, Pelicans and Saints owner and San Antonio car dealer Tom Benson has passed away today at the age of 90. More on that coming up in our newscast. As you can see, the New Orleans still with a 2-game lead in the loss column. So this is one of those huge games to gain ground. If the Pels win, they would also clinch the tiebreaker by winning the season series. So you can't overstate just how big this is. Much more coming up on the Spurs and Pelicans tonight at 6 o'clock. More on the loss of Tom Benson, and the Longhorns lost a legend today. Baseball coach Augie Garrido has died at the age of 79. Much more on that coming up at 6 o'clock. At the AT&T Center, Don Harris, News 4, San Antonio.
Late tonight through tomorrow morning, fog and drizzle, but gradually clearing out tomorrow afternoon. 86 tomorrow for the high, and then just a 20 to 30% chance of rain over the weekend. Scattered showers, maybe a stray thunderstorm. It's going to be partly to mostly cloudy this weekend, so not too bad and still very warm. Check out next week, though.
Yeah, it
more
looks
comfortable.
Great. All right. Thank you, Jeanette.
We'll see you at 6.